Hey loves!
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Hey, so welcome back to our channel. Of course, I'm Tanaj.
And I'm Tino.
And today what we're going to do is we are going to tell you about our van life nightmare driving to Cancun and why Baja is a much better choice.
So guys, we decided to explore Yucatan in our van because we've actually never been here on this side of the camper van. And we basically drove from New Orleans all the way down the Gulf Coast to Cancun, and let's just say it was a disaster.
It was a complete disaster. Cancun is not camper van friendly. Let's just start there. And I know you guys are wondering, well, okay, so if you've already been to Baja, like why are you driving to Cancun? Well, we have a great reason for that.
Yeah, Daniel is on Christmas break along with our niece.
So since they're working on kind of limited time, we decided that we would drive somewhere that Daniel had not been before, and that's why we ended up coming to Cancun. Now he's been to Cancun before on a plane.
When he was 8 years old.
Yeah, but we've never, since we've had the van, we've never really driven on this side. Like we've never driven the Yucatan. And now I know why.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a mess. It is. As soon as Gypsy finishes crying in the background, I can start and tell you guys why we gave it a 2 out of 10 and would not recommend. So let's just start with the roads. The roads are horrible, and although we pay crazy money going through the tolls, you would think that the roads would be a little bit better, but the roads are horrible, the tolls are sky high, and the gas is a whole nother subject. I'll let Faustino tell you a little bit about what happened to us as we're getting gas driving to the Yucatan.
We spent about $80 to $100 just on tolls.
Per day.
Yes.
Yeah.
$100 per day?
Yeah, it was per day. Oh, you wasn't keeping count, but I was.
$100 per day?
It was no less than $80, no more than $100 per day with the tolls. Ridiculous.
Yes, so the tolls, we're paying tolls to basically be on this nice, beautiful highway. That's why you pay tolls for. But I guess everyone's using that same highway, and it just becomes traffic jams. And the toll booths are just like 20-minute wait time to pay your toll. And then some of these, the highway that you pay the tolls on were horrible, like Tanaj said. The alternative is to not take the super highway and you take like the regular highway. But we can only imagine how bad that highway could be since it's not even being cared for.
Yeah, so we met some other drivers and they kind of told us about the back roads and why we should not take the back roads, how unsafe the back roads is. Sometimes they were robbed for their loads, because this was truck drivers that we were talking to. Sometimes they were robbed for their loads. Sometimes like the locals would throw things in front of the vehicle just to make sure that you stop. Yeah, so we weren't trying to do that. So of course, we're thinking safer is better. Safer is also more expensive because, like I said, it was no less than $80 per day per toll. But the gas, I don't think you got to the gas. The gas was another issue. So we stopped at this gas station, and I think we were about.
We had just entered. Literally, we might have been in either Veracruz. I think we were near Veracruz. We just entered the second town into our trip, and it was just the water light warning on our dashboard came up saying we had water in our diesel.
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. It was our first time on this side of Mexico, and here we are, this gas warning light with water in our tank, and we were like terrified.
We were completely terrified because at first we didn't know what the indicator was.
Right.
Like we had never seen that before. So we stopped at this gas station, filled up. A half a tank was $80. So a half a tank for us is usually like $40, $45. Now that was the first indicator that something was gonna go wrong. After we filled up, we had gotten not even a mile or so down the road when the indicator came on. So we didn't know what it was because we had never seen this indicator before. I hurry up and grab the manual, and I look to see that indicator says that we had water in our diesel tank. And if you guys know anything about tanks, diesel tanks, cars, period, water in the gas tank is a no bueno. So we stopped immediately, and we just so happened to stop at this gas station. Another gas station where we were able to get some guys to help us kind of cipher the gas out of the tank. So this took about 2 hours.
And it was already dark.
Right, because remember, like right now we're sitting on a full tank, so we have to take the entire, we have to empty the entire tank, which turned out to be more hassle than
we had just filled up, and then we basically just spent the night at that same gas station and filled up in the morning.
Yeah, we filled up in the morning and
not even outside the town, and once again the light comes back on. We're like, oh my God,
it's so crazy. So I looked into the manual again and realized that there's another way that you can separate the water from the gas. Just open the hood and disconnect one of the hoses and just let it go. But we realized that we were doing that way more often than we should have. Like, we've heard about gas in tanks while people were driving in Mexico, but we had never experienced that. This side, we experienced it at every gas station that we went to. Everywhere we stopped, there was water in the gas tank.
Yeah, literally, we can drive down the road 20 minutes, 10 to 15, 20 minutes right after we fill up. Gas light, the gas engine, the water light will come on. Gotta drain the tank.
And
it's like every gas station.
And we're in Mexico, so anything that goes wrong with the van is
detrimental.
It's horrible because
and then you got kids with us.
We're in Mexico.
And we're like in the middle of nowhere, like literally nowhere.
And who wants to stop, one, in Mexico, two, on the side of the road?
It was a lot. We didn't record any of this, obviously, because
we recorded a little bit.
It was stressful. It's just and we don't like the, it's kind of hard to grab those cameras and record when you're already in that stressful environment.
It was hard. So one of the reasons that we say you guys should not drive to Cancun in a camper van is because of the gas and the water that gets into the tank. So that's number one. Number two is because of the roads. The roads are horrible. The tolls are high, and the gas is also high. Now, our third reason as to why you shouldn't drive to Yucatan in a van.
All right. So the third reason is trying to find a spot to park at night along the Gulf Coast towns. There are none. You know, we looked on iOverlander. There's no RV parks. All you get is Walmarts, gas stations, side of the road. Walmart, gas station, side of the road. And that's not what we wanted, you know. We were used to pulling up at a beach in Baja and on this side of Mexico, you're pulling up into a gas station. And these gas stations are like party, I guess they turn into clubs at night because it's just non-stop music all night at damn near every gas station we slept at. Just about every spot that you try to pick, it turns into a party at night.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like, we are not above sleeping at a Walmart or sometimes even sleeping at a gas station. But when you throw in the Mexico environment and then everything that's going on, then that makes it just a little bit more sketchy. Like Faustino said, we stopped at a gas station, the gas station that we got stuck at when we were ciphering the gas out of the tank. We stopped there, we were able to sleep there, but we didn't get any sleep.
It turned into a club.
Because as soon as, like, I want to say maybe midnight, just everybody flocked to the gas station and all you heard was boom, 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 boom. It was like
non-stop.
I'm talking about all night long.
Everywhere.
And then the songs that they were playing, I don't know.
It was like, a lot. It was a lot.
It was crazy.
And all this is actually, if you don't know, we actually left December 18th. So all this was basically leading up to Christmas. So maybe it was because Christmas was around the corner, but it wasn't even that close to Christmas. It was 7 days away from Christmas. And maybe they were just all in the spirit, but it was non-stop club action at every gas station.
Yeah, so completely different from Baja. Like, when we got into Baja, the first thing we did was go to San Felipe. We found an amazing spot, like right off the beach. There was water hookup, there was electricity, there was bathroom showers, and it was only like $10.
Yeah, on the beach.
Here, it's completely different. There is no parking on the beach because the beaches are all taken up by the resorts. So it's definitely a change.
It's not the same.
It's so not the same. There is nowhere to park on this side. We quickly found out that this side is not camper van friendly at all. No. So if you're thinking about coming to Cancun, or you're thinking about taking your camper van to the Yucatan, I mean, this has been our experience. We always tell people to experience things yourself, but in this situation, we would want you to learn from our mistakes, because it wasn't fun.
No.
Like usually riding in a van or going to Mexico in a van, we've been to Baja twice, and usually going to Baja has been, I mean, it's been a very fun experience.
And it has some stresses on that side, but I'd say stress in Baja was probably like a 2, because you could probably fall off the road and into a cliff. But stress on this side is like,
you don't pay attention. Though.
Yes, 8, 9. Like, you can still pay attention.
You can pay attention here.
Just gaping holes in the
happens.
interstate. It's just bad. It's just bad.
It's a 10 out of 10. Do not recommend.
No, and I guess we should have noticed when we were like the only campers. You know, you're like in Baja, you can see RVs going left and right, up and down the highway, and then when we're driving, we're like the only ones. You know, we're like literally the only ones on the highway, camper-wise. Like you see 18-wheelers, you see locals driving, but you don't see like another RV, you don't see another camper or anything like that.
So don't get me wrong, it's not like we didn't prepare for it, because we prepared for Baja the same way we prepared for coming to the Yucatan. We looked on the map, and you know, we tried to figure out some places that we would be able to sleep, and we looked on our Overlander, which is absolutely our favorite app when we're traveling. We looked on our Overlander, and it says that there's multiple places. But when you get to those places, either those places are torn down,
closed.
Those places are closed, or they're just abandoned, and it doesn't feel right. Like it's a sketchy area.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't want to put yourself in situations like that if you don't have to. So we got here, and that's when we found out that maybe we should have been on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, so another reason that I say not to come to Baja, another reason that I feel like you probably shouldn't come to the Yucatan in a camper van would probably be our timing. If you're thinking about taking a trip in December, January, don't do it. Don't come here in December and January, because that's the high season. So, you know, when you're going somewhere and it's the high season, then everything goes up. But we figured that wouldn't affect us, because like we don't need a resort and we don't need a hotel. Like we have everything that we need. But not only are resorts and hotels high, everything is higher. The food is higher. The
diesel prices.
The diesel is higher. Things in Walmart is higher. Everything is just that much higher in December.
Yeah, it's cheaper than the U.S., but still higher than what we feel it should be in Mexico. And like Tanasha said, especially the diesel. The diesel is running about 25, 18, 25, 59 a liter, and that's Mexican pesos, which I think is equivalent to about, I'm gonna say about $5 on up, almost $5. I'd say at least over $5. And I think the U.S. is running about, you could probably get diesel for $3.99, maybe between $3.89 and $4.50.
Gas prices have gone down,
right?
But they didn't get the memo over here, because they're still high as shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we wanted to kind of tell you guys why Baja is a much better choice. The roads are smoother. There's no tolls. There are multiple places along your route to stay. Like if you're headed up to Cabo, there's multiple places along the route to stay. Completely different than it is down here.
Completely different environment. And to be honest, I'd say the weather is literally the same. I think the weather's the same. It's beautiful. It's about 80 degrees right now. And I think most of the U.S. is probably sitting at 40, 50. And the whole ride down here, we were 80-degree weather. We stopped at basically all the beach towns along the Gulf Coast, and they're crowded with local. Not crowded, but there's a good, there's a nice amount of people. And the Baja side, you could literally everywhere you stop, I would say in Baja is a beach. There might not be a town, but there's a beach. Here, it's very more. I'm not gonna say very. more industrialized, more commercialized. I think a lot of 18-wheelers on the road, just 18-wheelers after 18-wheelers after 18-wheelers, and you're driving through a lot of the Mexican jungle. So there really isn't much water to see versus driving down the Baja coast where all you just have is water on damn near both sides.
Yeah, so if you want to experience like van life in Mexico, Baja is definitely the better choice. Not only because it's more camper van friendly, but it's easier to get around. Like they're so used to camper vans coming through in and through Baja that it doesn't faze them. Yeah. So there's multiple places to relax. There's multiple places to sleep, and if you do want to get out of the van for a little while and stretch your legs, like there's ample Airbnbs, and the prices are not bad even in December.
Yeah, I definitely would say that. Coming down this the Yucatan, the Gulf Coast side, you do hit a lot of cities. Which are nice. You get to be able to park and enjoy the city. But once again, our van, I would say any camper van is probably just a big target, and it's kind of hard to park.
But I would suggest that if you want to come here and you want to experience like this side of Mexico, fly
to Cancun and rent your car and then just drive around.
It is not what we thought. It's not what we thought at all. Like we got a rude awakening. Now I'm not gonna say that we didn't meet some amazing people here, because we have met some amazing people as we do everywhere, but they had nothing to do with our drive here. If you want to come to the Yucatan, fly. Because driving in a camper van is not the business. It is not the business. And there's not many places that I've gone in the camper van where I can say, oh guys, don't do that, and that's not the thing to do, and I recommend you do something else. But here, no.
Yeah. There was a time where we got so frustrated when the light turned on with that engine water in your diesel that I was like,
that's scary.
Tanaj, if this turns on one more time, let's just turn around. And we're already deep.
We were deep in it.
We weren't at the end. We were like literally in the middle.
At the beginning either.
Right. We were like, Tanaj, if this happens one more time, I'm done.
It was crazy.
I don't want the engine to break. I don't want the...
Especially not in Mexico.
Right, and I'm gonna say that it never came on after that. Like literally when we said that, if it comes on one more time, I'm done.
But once we got here, or an hour outside of Cancun,
Yeah.
No more light, no more water.
Right.
You know, so that's why we want to get on here. We want to warn you guys. We want to tell you that it has been a nightmare driving to Cancun in a camper van, and Baja is a much better choice. You hear all those people that live in camper vans talk about Baja this and Baja that and Baja. Yeah, because it's where it's at. This is not.
So we finally made it to Cancun with no problems after Meridia, and we spent about, I'd say, 5 days within the Cancun and Puerto Morelos, Playa del Carmen area, and we enjoyed Christmas with the kids, and they've actually caught a flight back home because they have to start their semester here soon.
Right.
And we are actually in Tulum, so we decided to rent a house versus living in a van because we can't live in a van on this side of Mexico. So we're actually staying in Tulum in our new little rental.
Yeah, we found a house in Tulum, which is where we are now. It is so peaceful, and like our courtyard is just full of flowers, and Gypsy has somewhere to run. We're outside of the van. We don't have to worry about diesel. We don't have to worry about finding a place to park.
Water.
So yeah, we decided that we're gonna be here for a couple of months. We're gonna see how it goes, and we're gonna explore like around the area. But the good thing about that is that we can always come back here when we've had enough of the van. So we are going to show you our home in Tulum.
That'll be the next video.
Not this video. So make sure you guys stay tuned because we're going to show you around our new
neighborhood.
And
we are living with the locals.
We are in the middle of everything.
This is not touristy at all. Touristy is a couple blocks away. We are living with the locals.
Which is fine because I absolutely enjoy it. Like the guy that we rented the house from, he is amazing. We love him already. He has a dog. The place is nice. We're gonna tour the place for you guys in our next video. We're gonna tell you how much we're paying. We're gonna kind of find out exactly a more definite timeline on how long we'll be here and when we're leaving. Also about what we're gonna do while we're here. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions about Mexico, about Tulum, about living in Tulum, about rent, just make sure you leave them below and you stay tuned because yeah, we have a lot to share with you guys and we can't wait. And we hope you had an amazing new year and we hope to see you in the next video.
So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Like Tanaya said, leave some comments, hit that little bell so you can get notified when we post a video. And I guess that's it, you know? Just get those questions ready for the next video. You know where we're at and you know what we're doing.
Yep, that's where we're at and that's what we're doing. All right, y'all. Until next time, deuces.